Voidwalker is a first-person exploration puzzle game that we're working on for the PC with Oculus Rift compatibility. And it came to be because we often found ourselves having conversations about really missing experimentation. Nowadays, a lot of the games feel like they have to over-explain things and over-inform the player, and a lot of the times when you're playing those games, you feel like you're just going through the motions. That's why we wanted to make a game entirely based around the experience of discovery, the feeling of discovery that you have when you figure things out by yourself. So we made this magic system where the player is in control of the spellcraft the entire way, directly. And then we had to make a world that would not only lend itself to that experimentation, but also justify and give purpose to the player in that magic system. At that point, Voidwalker just kind of took a life of its own. The sum of its parts came together in a mesh, and we just sit down to make all of our ideas reality. And today, we wanted to show you guys what we have so far.
Level design has always been fun, but with the Oculus Rift, the field is just incredibly exciting now. Being able to build a level and then strap on an Oculus and actually be there is akin to magic. It's something that I know I've always wanted to be able to do with my creations, and now that unrealistic dream has come true, not only for myself, but for game designers and all players alike. Now, keeping the Oculus in mind when level designing has really inspired a grand and expansive world for Voidwalker. We want the views from the islands themselves to be breathtaking, and we want the skies to be just the right mix of surreal and kind of realistic. But we also want to design the levels to seem like the puzzles are a natural part of the landscape. I definitely would never want the puzzles to feel like busy work or, extraneous obstacles just to make the game progress. That's important, but even more important than that, we want you to be able to find your own way through the levels. There won't be any one correct solution. You choose your own style of gameplay, you choose your own style of magic, and solve whatever the puzzles however you see fit. The environment itself is designed as a playground for spell experimentation. You can throw crates around, you can destroy pottery, you can burn down all the trees if you want to, but you have to ask yourself before you do that, would these trees really be useful in getting through the puzzles on the island? Maybe they are. Maybe they aren't. But whatever you choose to do, the spells are your own, and the path that you choose to take through the levels are also your own.
During Voidwalker's concept phase, we wanted to give players something different than throwing a fireball from a pre-baked selection of skills or a cone of light. Instead, give them something which would allow them to craft spells on the fly to whatever the situation required. I was inspired mainly by Ohm's Law, where we have a triangle with voltage, amperage, and resistance, but replace those three components with the power behind the spell, the shape of it, like if you want a cone or beam or a sphere, and then the element, or the aspect to it. So if you wanted a fireball which burns things slowly, you would put a power of 2 with the shape of 2, and then the fire aspect. Or if I wanted to explode and maybe put out fires, we would use a power of 3 in the same shape. Or if I want to make it a cone in this case, which is really wide and burny, power 3, shape of 1. We have a few other modifiers planned out, like you could maybe immolate yourself or join elements together, but those are a surprise.
Working on a project like Voidwalker, for me, is really new and exciting, because usually I do a sci-fi webcomic, and having the chance to work on a fantasy video game is really awesome. Working with Photoshop, I get to have a chance to work with something new and awesome that I haven't really had a chance to work on a lot. So instead of doing my thick, heavy line art that I would usually do for my comic, I instead get to try out painting for a change, using big, thick brushstrokes to make something nice and soft and fantasy-esque.
The world of Voidwalker is really one that we've been working on for a long time. There is an extensive history, an expansive mythology, multiple creatures, a small library worth of in-game books, developed societal hierarchy, and, of course, an integral culture of magic. To bring all of this to life and convey as much of it as possible as we can within the scope of Voidwalker has been really challenging, but also, honestly, a lot of fun. Essentially, we want to be able to use all of this lore and make our world as involved and real as possible. If there's a book here, it means something. If there's a piece of pottery in the corner of the room, that pot style has a background and a culture that produced it. Even the language that we've created for the runes has grown exponentially in structure and grammar as time's gone on. So this focus on historical background really allows us to tie in our character design and make, them vibrant characters, but also be able to structure them within the overall society in which the game takes place. For Nora, we wanted her to feel really regal and wise, but also willing to take drastic measures to protect what she feels is hers. With Caius, we knew he was going to be an academic, so we really wanted to make him feel and look naturally inquisitive, self-involved, and also mildly oblivious to anything around him that doesn't have to do with his own research. As for the phylactery, well, it's going to be as absolutely annoying, scathing, and sarcastic as we could possibly make it without getting too much on the player's nerves. So it was designed to be a pretty quixotic creature that can, skitter around as he pleases.
So why put this on Kickstarter? Well, so far we have been self-funding the project, but we have come to the realization that with your help, we can make this the best game that it possibly can be. But in the end, it's not really about us. This being an industry, and you being a consumer, it's about us providing you with the best possible product that we could possibly give you. And with your help, we can make it great. So please, browse the website. We have backstory, we have screenshots, we have a demo coming out pretty soon. And if you, like us, believe this is a game worth having, then help us make it great. Pledge, share, pester all of your friends on social media, and in the process, get a great game out of it. Thank you.